How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. Today, we are going to be talking about DigiByte once again, and it seems like there's always new stuff to talk about regarding this interesting cryptocurrency. So I think this is going to be a pretty exciting and educational video. We do have a lot to get into, so let's do it. So today is a pretty interesting milestone for the DigiByte community. Obviously, people all around the world celebrating this DX exchange going global, and DigiByte along for the ride, as the marker says. And I mean, this is just the beginning. When we talk about speed, I really think that DigiByte has a lot of things that'll really separate it from the crowd. If people continue to complain about the fees that are associated with Bitcoin and the speed, blockchain is really going to be the determining factor between the altcoins that rise and the ones that meet their demise. So in the recent news, we see DigiByte and Litecoin basically getting some media attention. And of course, it's always nice to see 2019 has actually been a pretty decent year for predictions. When we want to talk about how the media plays a big role in the mentality that goes into getting people involved with cryptocurrency, it can really never be underestimated. When you think about it, it kind of all boils down to this old paradox, which is that art manipulates reality and reality manipulates art. They mirror one another, and they're constantly taking references from one another. So ultimately, people could keep talking about Bitcoin over and over and over again, and it essentially sort of spams the conversation, and essentially people need to sort of look under a few rocks to find, but I think anybody who's actually using cryptocurrency for its purpose, DigiByte sort of takes the cake if you want to talk about speed and all these different things aforementioned. Of course, with the eagerly awaited 5th generation of the DigiByte Genesis block, we are approaching an important milestone, and I think now more than ever, it's great to look into exactly what these cryptos are going to be doing in the real world, as opposed to just getting caught up in the reputations. I mean, obviously, DigiByte does have a pretty good track record nonetheless if you're just going off of reputation on its surface value. But another key indication of how a crypto can actually stand up in of course, the certain type of markets that we've been seeing from the past, say, 3 months, we've been seeing a pretty challenging space for a lot of these different technologies. And I'd still stick to my prediction that things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. Cryptocurrency is a pretty competitive space. And one of the things that often gets overlooked, and really one of the most misunderstood things in the cryptocurrency, I think, of 2019, one of the things that I find important to talk about is that when we actually see another $100 billion getting added to the market cap, like perhaps be $1 trillion market cap, there's going to be so much competition to be the leading cryptocurrency when all these new people, all these new actors are getting involved with the space. And it's realistically going to separate the altcoins that have been around the block. DigiByte's one of the oldest crypto altcoins going, dating back, and this is something that people need to realize, is that being spread all around the world, having this the blockchain going for it, these are things that are like, there's cryptos that just rose up in the past 9 months that probably won't be projected to last 9 months into the future. So realistically, there's cryptos that are probably getting more hype than DigiByte, just because they pump all their money into getting people to know who they are, and it's a big pump and dump scheme essentially. But DigiByte stands out from the rest, I'd say, just because if that were the case, they'd be gone by now. DigiByte's here to do a job that they're specifically, I mean, as far as looking into the different variables, I mean, the information is there. Obviously, I'm pretty excited to see where DigiByte's going to take us into the future, and I think that the community that's built itself up around DigiByte is definitely something to give credit for, especially in this market. The fact that DigiByte's able to withstand this sort of the situation that speaks for itself realistically. So in the world of blockchain and all these things, it is interesting to see how DigiByte's the conversation regarding DigiByte has been evolving up until this point. So obviously, Apple, you all saw what happened with Apple, and if you've been watching the stock market, you could start to see, no pun intended, but the stock market's beginning to look a lot like cryptocurrency for the volatility. Now, obviously, that's tongue-in-cheek, but you get my point. I mean, stock market left for dead. I think that it's only a matter of time now before people start to see, who's actually moving the puppet master behind the scenes. That old saying that people say. I mean, basically, it's like gonna be like that scene in The Wizard of Oz. Who's that man behind the curtain? Sort of, who's actually pulling the strings. And I think when that happens, it's quite not misunderstood at this point that the establishment has been looking for a way in a mechanism that could actually liberate the whole system. And I think that it's going to depend on cryptocurrency at some point. The fact of the matter is what we see happening with XRP, the banks have been aligning and all these different things. It's only a matter of time. Now, that being said, cryptocurrency still has a long way to go, but it is always interesting. These things like DigiByte are certainly on the radar of a lot of people who are going to be making some very important decisions, who are looking for solutions all the time. Now, of course, Japan explores crypto ETFs after snubbing futures. This was a pretty big headline today in the cryptocurrency sport. I'm sure you guys are well versed on these various different things. Japan's financial service agency is considering the approval of crypto ETFs according to Bloomberg source. So, things are happening every single day. Whether or not people choose to be ignorant to these sort of things is their own prerogative, but I think as DigiByte continues to be available on more exchanges, I think that there's been some talk that people have been speculating the potential of seeing DigiByte on Coinbase. This could be a big game changer. Of course, as Coinbase is one of those exchanges that are basically open for the large the flooding of people who come interested in getting some crypto. When people who are generally new to the space do flood to Coinbase, that could improve DigiByte if they can pull that off. But yeah, all that being said, and for anybody who doesn't get the idea of how big of idea blockchain is such a paradigm shift, I always like to bring up this sort of old story, which has become sort of an urban legend in the cryptocurrency space. So almost 9 years ago, someone bought a pizza for 10,000 Bitcoins. The current USD value of that pizza is about 40,610,925. Blockchain technology is an undeniably ingenious invention, which power will increase even in the coming years. So, when we want to talk about the fact that DigiByte's got a blockchain, steady blockchain that's been realistically functioning all the way across the world and continues to grow, spread around all these different places, it's certainly something that makes me pay more attention. And of course, I'd recommend everybody to do your research when it comes to these things, because there's really no end to how much you'll learn. And in the interest of sharing different people's opinions, I'm actually going to include a link to this video by CryptoCurrently, where he interviews a member of the DigiByte awareness team, which is he essentially just talks about all these different things that initiatives that DigiByte's been taking into consideration, which again kind of does show things that are happening behind the scenes, and in particular in this climactic time of the cryptocurrency space. Just a good shout out to give to him. him. And another thing that I wanted to talk about and get into is essentially how cryptocurrency in the technologies, the companies that are able to actually implement blockchain into how they do business are obviously going to dramatically outperform the competition. And the fact that cryptocurrency is in its infancy stages right now, I think that we're due to see a lot of interesting shakeups. And along the way, I think we could be seeing DigiByte being ranked higher in the near future, as they keep up these different developments and things that have been happening behind the scenes. Whether how you think about Jared Tate, or whether how you feel about the team. I think that the team has a lot of good things going for it. And essentially, if you look at the technology, and these different aspects, I think that it does certainly speak for itself to a large extent. Obviously, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Obviously, this video is not any sort of advice. Obviously, not financial advice. This video is just my opinion when it comes to these things. And overall, my opinion on DigiByte is pretty positive. I could see some very interesting things right around the corner. And of course, if you guys watch this video all the way to the end, make sure that you follow us on our Twitter. That is, of course, at CryptoTuber, and make sure you subscribe and comment down below, letting us know what you think. And I'll see you guys next video. Have a good one.